So the big question is, what can you possibly do with three easy chords? I mean, that's three chords, right? D, A, G. Pretty simple stuff. It's three chords. It's all you need, right? What we got? Four chords. Three chords just played different ways. Now, three chords. Now, in that three chords somewhere, right, there's how many songs? That's it. Right? So sometimes simple is best. In fact, when it comes to guitar at this level, simple is the best. I mean, look, you're looking at being able to play all kinds of songs with three chords. Right? So, if I were a carpenter, you were a lady, would you marry me anyway? Would you have my baby? Three chords, right? And so three chords, right? So that's all we need. To start. There's way more out there, y'all know that. But this is some of the stuff you can do right away. Because we've talked about everything here, right? So we've talked about alternate ways of playing. So in this case, I'm playing my G this way. And you can see now that it's more of a fingerstyle, it's just so much, it's uncomfortable and awkward at first. But it makes so much sense with, like, if you just watch my hand. Now I'm going to go to that C, and I got my trigger right here, right? Right? I might want to go back. Okay, so look, 3 chords. They don't have to be these 3. They can be... Now, those are the 1, 4, 5 chords in the key of G and in the key of D. So we had G, D, and C from the key of G. And then we had, we played E. So the actual, oh, sorry, we played D, A, and G. So that's not in that order, it was D, three chords, right? So that's why I always recommend 3 sets. Now, they don't have to be the 1, 4, 5. The only reason I always mention 1, 4, 5 is because those are the major chords. Not that it really matters. I mean, it really doesn't. You're going to learn all these the 8 open chords anyways. But one of the main reasons is it allows you to play with other people, if that's possible, right away. How is that possible? Well, if you learn the 3 chords, the 1, 4, 5, you can play the 12-bar blues. And everybody, you don't have to be, a songsmith. It's 1, 4, 5, the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and there's a formula to it. So that's why I suggest. But you know what you could do here? You can always replace one of these chords with an A minor or an E minor. If sometimes a buddy shows you a chord, right? And so now you already know an A minor because your buddy showed you a chord before you started. So you know how to play an A minor. Well, what you could do now is now you can play A minor, C, G. Now you got a whole bunch of stuff going on. 25 years, my life is still trying to get up that great big hill of hope. Da 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 da, right? I spent some time when I found it by. So that's that progression right there. So what we've done is we've swapped out, one chord for the other. That's cool too. There's no limits here, right? Like, that's my whole philosophy. It's whatever you already know. All I'm saying is, if you already know a chord, then, pick, some of those chords are in multiple keys, but pick one of the keys that chord belongs to and learn the 2 other chords that I mentioned. So if you've learned a C chord, now you got a choice. You can learn the chords from the key of C, which would be C, F, G, or you can learn the chords from G because C's in G. So we could be G and then C and it's D. 1, 4, 5. 1, 4, 5, right? Now we can do things with that. So what you're doing is, okay, so instead of not going to the D, for example, you go here, or you go G, C, E minor. It's some combination like that, right? So you have, you can go anywhere with this, right? So, anyways, I just want to remind you that we are here for this is a beginner's channel. It's a beginner's live show. So if you're not into that, or if you're way higher than us, then there's really not much for you here. If you are in your first year of guitar and you just want a different approach, or you just want to hear it explained a little differently, check out my library, both here and over on TikTok as well. And there's a lot of stuff, a lot of tidbits, and a lot of stuff I wish I knew when I started. It would have made things easier. But more importantly, it's about what not to do, right? That's great. You can hang around. I mean, everybody's welcome, but just as long as you understand that this is for people, and it's usually at advanced age, that are trying to learn guitar for the first time. And what happened to me was, everybody knows, I just was learning stupid things that I would never need or use at the level I was ever going to be at, which is, so, and I wasted so much time, and it made me feel like I wasn't any good, and I wasn't meant to play guitar. it really put me down, so I quit, you know, a couple times. So, um, um, so basically, it's just about um, you know, figuring out that keep it simple, you know, and just learn chords and just play them and turn them into songs. And whether you write your own stuff or hey, how you doing? From England, good stuff. I was born in England, actually. Hello.
Hi.
Yeah.
Are
I'm.
you filming?
Yeah.
Are you live?
Yeah.
Live?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll come talk to you later.
Okay.
Just want to ask if you wanted to take my car for a spin, maybe put some gas.
Oh. Okay. Well, for when? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be all right?
What time do you leave tomorrow?
I don't know, I think we're gonna leave like 9:30, 10 o'clock ish.
Okay. I'll do it before then.
Thank you.
Okay.
Have fun.
So that was my daughter begging again for money. Oh, hi, Barb. How are you? Oh, you like the finger thing, eh? The technique? Yeah. Well, that's how I look. That's how I play. Sorry, I didn't see that you were here. And that's what point of this is this show tonight is just to remind people that you can do a lot with a little. I like this style. I don't know what it is. I find it soothing. It's relaxing, and it really. Hey, my little cat's in here too. Oh, stop it. So, yeah, I like this. You know, and it goes along perfectly with the whole three chord thing. I prefer, as you can tell, I like to combine, like I'll do a bit of strumming. Like this, you know, like I'll kind of, then I'll arpeggiate. So basically, alternate. Kind of alternate back and forth between the finger picking and the, you know, strumming the chord. Uh, I think I also play as, like, I'll play a scale finger picking as well. So, you know, I really enjoy that. And I just feel it just gives you a different sound. And not all the time, but sometimes I find it just, you're just more in touch with the guitar. You get a different tone for sure, right? Because look, if you're, you know, if you're doing the same thing, it can get out of hand pretty quick, right? So you got to always be aware. So I felt um, when I put the pick down and I started just using the thumb and the finger, it was way easier on the, you know, just the whole. I liked the tone. I liked everything better, right? Uh, I'm playing a Taylor 416. It's about 20 years old, and yeah. I bought it from the person that originally bought it. Um, these generally don't sound good plugged in. These are fantastic sounding. Taylors are known for that. But I mean, you can always have a different electronic system put in. Um, for me, it's not that important because when I play out or I'm doing these kind of things, um, I can amplify and I can run through a mixer if I want, and I can put whatever I want on it. So, oh, nice, yeah. Well, that would be really nice. That would be, I don't know if what your situation is, but it's worth having it, looked over by somebody, a proper luthier, or even Gibson themselves, and just, have it. Make sure that it's, oh, that's a nice guitar to have. So, my point is, have it done properly to sound its best and keep it in good condition. You'll be rewarded with that. So anyways, what we were talking about is, you know, it can be as little as 3 chords. And you'll find that these 3 chords come up all the time, right? Now, this isn't the right key for this song, but Jolene, 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 please don't take my man because you can. Jolene, 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 right? 3 chords, if played a certain way, and again, it wasn't the right key or anything, but played a certain way, you can do anything you want. So, again, for all you people out there that are in the first year of playing, and you're past the stage of, you can strum your guitar, and as I know there are some of you working on the picking end of things too, whether it's just to do things like this. Little walk-ups and walk-downs. It's a great way to spruce things up. Right? It's a great way to spruce up your open chord playing, especially fingerstyle. I really like that. I like the freedom that the fingerstyle brings in that when you use a pick, everything is precise, right? You got to be precise. The pick's got to be, whatever, or you get funny sounds, that kind of thing. And I mean, you're basically, especially as a beginner, right? You got to get that little bit of pick exactly on that string while you're strumming at high speeds. You got to only play a D. You got to get in there at the 4th string. It can be really difficult. I found that not only did switching, like putting my pick down, soften my tone, but it also gave me a bigger landing area using my thumb, if that makes any sense. Um, uh, that kind of thing. Like it gives me a bigger landing area. It feels like, and maybe that was more mental than anything else. So now all of a sudden my chords, when I'm strumming my chord, so now I'm playing an A minor, I'm not overly freaked out about making sure the pick can only get in from the 5th down, right? Or the 5th up. I don't really worry about it for some reason. It just doesn't seem, and even if I touch that E string, it's a very, very, it's not a big deal, and I can also mute out with my thumb, so I can mute that string out if I want, right? So if I'm playing an A minor and I don't want to hit that E, I can just right here. So if I do hit it, it's just a thump, it's a nothing, right? I just found it easier with the thumb. And then, you can roll out the notes if you want, like you can play off that. right? You can do something like that. I just find that it's really helped my, my dexterity and coordination between the strings and the fingers of both hands by playing that way. And you learn, like, how to add a little something something when you need it. So, um, especially a song like I do a song when I play live. I do it. This is in my set list. Right? It's only a 3 chord song. To the town of our freedom rode a stranger one fine day. Now, what I do here, now he spoke to folks around him, didn't have it's all thumb right now, didn't have too much to say. See what I did there? So I just do it like a little, right? So that's just the finger coming up. And then also you can do little, something like that. So I do that across like a C shape or a G, right? You might play your G this way. So across a G, I'll just flick the back of the nail down like that. Yeah, hold on. Something like that. I always get messed up on that part, but so how would I strum it? I don't know. That's probably I kind of think of that song as a fast downbeat song. I mean, you can play it, you can strum it, right? No, da 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 da. Da 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 da. So you can strum it, right? Or you could go the same thing. You go. These are all downs. Right? Yeah. So you could do all downs, right? So, again, there's another example of a very simple song. Everything that we have done today has been simple, right? We did the big iron. It's 3 chords, really. Other than the intro has that E major in it, it's really just A minor, C, and F. It's how you play them and how you mix and match them. That's it. So that's why it's so important that when people tell you, hey man, just learn these certain 3 chords and you can play all kinds of songs. So again, what determines how we make the song, how we turn it into a song, and that's all determined for the most part with your right hand. So in this case, we've chosen to play fingerstyle. So we are day 1 learning the C chord, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. We learn a G. 2, 3, 4. We learn a D, right? All right. So the minute this turns into music, which it isn't now, is the minute we get that right hand going. Because this is it, right? This is it. Through strumming patterns, through the style of finger playing, through the style of picking that you develop overall. Remember, you want to develop your own style. You play. I shouldn't say don't imitate people, because we all want to play like maybe someone that you like or whatever, but be yourself and see where, where you feel the best, where you think you sound the best, what you like, the style that you like to strum and play the best, and then work on that. Where a lot of people waste valuable time is they feel they got to learn everything there is to know about guitar, and you don't, right? You just got to know what you need to know. And as a beginner, you should only need to worry about playing open chords and laying a decent strum pattern on it. Nothing fancy. That'll come later. I'm not saying don't ever get better. No, I'm just saying you're so close to being able to just do this. I was a carpenter. Or how about this one? She says it's cold outside, hands me a raincoat. Right? We can fit a lot of songs into here. Right? So that's what you're looking at, is just 3 simple chords played any way you want. You can play them like this, or we could do this. Right? I could get a pedal with distortion and no problem. Right? So, you could play anything you want, right? And not everybody's going to want or like the same thing. So it's like anything, like you just find out what you like and work from there. But for those of you that this is more of a home hobby kind of thing, man, you cannot go wrong with good old-fashioned finger picking. And like I said, there is something called the Travis picking system. I don't do it, but it's easy. It's all the information is out there, and it really is just a matter of assigning your thumb to a certain string on the guitar. Just it's this thumb plucks this string, and then that string, and then this finger takes the 4th and the 3rd, and this stringer here and there, and it's great. It was a little too confusing for me, and so I just started the pistol grip, I call it, right? So that's it. Thumb down, finger up. And I don't limit, so sometimes I'll be way up here on these strings, and I'll be thumbing them down. Right? And sometimes I'll be plucking like a bass up here. The combination of the two just seems to work. Now it takes some time to you got to kind of get in there and figure it out. And, there's no videos per se about that. It's all about how you relate to your guitar and how much time you spend playing it. It's really that simple. And playing it properly, but in the way that you want to play it. So it means that, just because, you don't play 7th chords or extend your pinky to grab that, certain note, or that does not, there's nobody who says that's the way to do it. You play the guitar the way you want to play the guitar, that makes you happy, that fulfills what you need to fulfill. Okay, we're not professionals. You know, there's nothing there. And if you are looking to make a career in your music, then you need to be out putting in your 10,000 hours because that's what they say, to master a craft. You're going to need to know everything there is to know. Of course, you are. You need to get experience. You got to get going. I hope you're young and you got a lifetime to dedicate. The rest of us, we just want to play some of our favorite songs, some songs we grew up with, and keep it simple, right? I don't know. Take a look at my girlfriend. She's the only one I got. Not much of a girlfriend. I never seem to get a lot. Take a jumbo across the water, like to see America. And see the girls in California, hoping my dreams will come true. But there's not a lot I can do. Can we have kippers for breakfast? Mommy dear. Gotta have them in Texas. Everyone's a millionaire. I'm a winner, I'm a sinner. Do you want my autograph? I'm a loser, what a joker. Babe, my joke's upon you. 'Cause there's not a lot I can do. La la la. Remember this one? Ba 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 ba. Remember that one? That's Supertramp from like 78, 79. Breakfast in America, I think. Um, but look, how many chords? So 1, 2, 3. There's 2. Ba da 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 da. So most of it was A minor, G, F, right? And then in I guess I don't know if it's a chorus or what it is. There was that little thing. I'm a winner. That's an E major, which is weird because you wouldn't get an E major in that chord set. So it's there are times in music where it gets a little confusing because you think, well, if that's an E and you're in the key of, shouldn't that be an E minor? Or, you start and wow, okay. But anyways, it is what it is. There is a rule in which there are certain notes that allow you to borrow chords, from a different and there are relative minors and things like that. So then you just add that. I'm a winner, I'm a thinner. Back to the A minor. Want my autograph? So there's 1, 2, 3. There's 4 chords in the song, right? And there's really no song you can't play with 4 chords, but there's all kinds of songs still you can play with 3 and even 2 chords. So again, when you're starting out, when I figured it out and what really worked for me is what I talk about all the time is when I realized, what am I doing learning all these fancy things like bar chords and stuff? This makes no sense. Like, I can't do it and it's too hard. So when I realized and put all my energy into just this, just playing these open chords, 3 and 4 at a time, 2 at a time, using things like Capos, Fingerstyle, strumming and picking, different chord progression. Yeah, right, exactly, Barb. That's the whole thing, right? I don't know how many times I've sat and listened to people playing somewhere out, and everything sounds the same in one long, it's almost like one long song. all downs. I'm playing a chord progression that, if played properly, would sound. Lots of ways to strum this. So again, that's all finger. Now, the other one admittingly was more than 3 chords, but you know, you can still play chord progressions so many different ways to give it different things. And as you said, Barb, it adds a bit of texture for sure. And it just keeps our minds wandering. I personally like to do that when I do covers. I like to try to put a little bit of a different sort of, you know, rhythm, mood to it kind of thing. And I just find that, like you say, it just makes things a little more interesting. Sometimes I like, just for the heck of it, I'll take the capo and just slide her up. I don't know, 5. You can even go 7, right? It gets a little tough down here. Or up here. It's pretty tight here. I mean, like, I got small, like, I don't have big fingers. Imagine if you had like really big fingers. You couldn't, it'd be pretty hard. But it's a great way to get a different sound. Sometimes when you're in a bit of a funk or you're just looking for something a little different, you know, you take a capo, you slap it on 7 or 8 or 5 or 4, whatever, right? You know, I like 4 because then you can play, if you put your capo on 4, you can play a lot of songs that are in the key of E. Now, why is that so important? Well, because there's a lot of good songs in E, and E is full of bar chords. So for beginners, it's tough to play in E because other than E major, the first chord, right? the second chord is an F sharp minor, or F sharp, yeah, minor, because it's just a 2 chord. And then you have, you go to a G sharp minor, and then you go to an A. So you've only got the E and the A as the open chords, right? Because then it would be B, C sharp, D sharp, and then finish with E. So that's your chords so there you only have 2 open chords. So if you don't want to play bar chords, or you can't play bar chords, then put a capo on 4 and play. You can play in the key of E using the chords from the key of C. I'll show that in a second. I think you're looking for something like. Neil Young is something like that. I don't know it off by hand, but you're looking at. Right? I've been a Hollywood. I've been a Hollywood. I think it's C. I've been to Redwood. I've been the ocean for a No. There's a little riff there somewhere. I'd have to just play around with it for a bit, but I don't know a lot of Neil Young songs. Sorry. Long may you run. We've been through some things to get, trunks of memories to count. Bye 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 bye. Long may you run. Back in Blind River in 1953. I'm rusty with the Neil Young, but as you can see, if I had another, 10 minutes to just jam it and just figure, it'll come. Like it, I'm sorry, I'm not a machine, but blowing in the wind, I don't really know it. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. No, blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. Or another Bob Dylan, maybe. Mama, take this badge from me, 'cause I can't use it no more. Oh yeah, it's getting dark, too dark to see. It feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, 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 knocking on heaven's door. Mama, put these guns in the ground, 'cause I can't shoot them no more. This long black cloud is coming down. It feels like I'm knocking on heaven's door now. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Different Bob Dylan song, but nevertheless, Bob Dylan. So anyways, again, that song is another perfect example. G, D, A minor. Stay on that A minor. G, D to the C. Stay on the C. G, D, A minor. Stay on that A minor. G, D to the C. Stay on the C to the G. Great song for beginners. Thanks for bringing it up. Well, you didn't, but yeah, well, thank you so much, 7th Keddy. Oh. Yeah, Barb, okay, so, yeah, it's a good question, actually. All right. Some of it comes from when I was starting out and I knew only a handful of chords and I learned songs. I memorized them because I had no concept of theory. I had no concept of what belongs with what. And I just knew that as I played it, if it was right or wrong, listening to what I know of that song, you could tell by your ear. Then as you get more experienced, I guess, I don't know, you just get to that confidence point and you just know, because you know how songs are put together and you realize that 9 times out of 10, okay, I can play almost every song with these 4 chords if I play them in a certain way, right? And that's part of it. So you're kind of thinking, okay, this is definitely a D. Where would it go from here? You know, and you kind of know the song. So yes, by ear, it kind of goes eerily down. You kind of get that vibe that it's going to happen in a way. I know that sounds so stupid, but that's the way it is after a while. And you start realizing that certain chord progressions always come up. A minor to the C, to the G, to the A minor, right? And if you add a 4th to that, or another chord to that, so you got a 1, there's your 2nd chord to the 3. Now if you go to the D, now you got a whole other thing going on. You got all this stuff to work with now, and you could play like, so then, Barb, it's a matter of a bit of both. What you kind of remember, but mostly just jamming on it and listening to your ear. Does this sound right? Does these chords go together? And you're jamming on it. So don't be, you're not entertaining, you're learning. So you try after the G, try the C. Because G and C always go good together. I've told you guys that 1,000 times, so I'd try that right away. And if I found that was the next chord of the song, then I'd go, okay, so I got my G and I got my C. Now, where's it going to go? So if it's in the key of G, that's my root, G, that's the 1. That's the 4 chord. Remember I tell you about the 1, 4, 5? So the first thing I do is go G, C, D, and see what it sounded like. G, C, D. Am I getting a match? You use your ear. No? Okay, so how about we go G, because I know G and C are in. A minor, G, C, E minor, right? There's only 6 chords in the key of G. 7 if you include the F sharp diminished, but we don't use the diminished chords in regular music. That's why nobody ever talks about that 7th diminished chord. And so you've already got three of them, so it's just process of elimination. So that's how they do it. And that's how I do it. And the more you do it, the more often you do it, then yeah, good question. So so anyways, that's how it is. Some of them are memory, and some of them are just a bit of both, and some of them are just jamming it and trying to figure out, does that sound right? Because you know when it doesn't, right? Um, the other thing about bar chords, yeah, okay. How can I improve to bar chords? Is it okay cheating them? So I think what you mean is, how can you improve on your bar chords? Or you want to start playing bar chords? I would make sure that you are truly ready to play bar chords and that you have built up your good guitar foundation, left hand, right hand, ears, brain. Make sure you got that good guitar foundation. Okay. That gives you confidence, that gives you motor skills, because all playing bar chords is a different set of muscle memory motor skills that you have to learn. You learn them just like we did at the beginning. You grabbed your D, first chord, your D, you wrapped in, and okay, and then you did it again, right? Until you did it 8, 9 times out of 10 really well. Then you learned a second chord, might have been C. I'm just using this as a sample, right? And then you practice going, what's the best way to go from here to here, right? And you do it slowly and figure out what's most comfortable for you, you know, what works best for you. And then you build from there. Well, you're going to have to do the same with your bar chords. So what I would recommend, here's what I did. The first bar chord that I needed to learn, because it kept coming up in my searches for songs, was the B minor. So instead of going on a whole course of learning, okay, all the shapes in front of the bar, learning them and all that kind of stuff, I just learned what I needed right away. So I learned the B minor, what it felt like, what it sounded like, right? And it took a bit. I had to figure out the bar and the fingers, and that's how I did it. The bar and the fingers, the bar and then the fingers, the bar and I just kept doing that over and over. And it probably wasn't as exact as I'm doing here, but um, it was close. And as you know, it's a trial and error. Just like when you first learned your G chord to go to your D chord, it was impossible, right? So this is the only difference now is if you wait until you have your guitar foundation and you get some good coordination, you shouldn't have too much issues. And you're just going to have to learn. Start with one, okay? So what I do is I go my B minor in my case, and then I mix it in with all my chords I play open. G, B minor, right? Oop, B minor, G, B minor, A, B minor to the D, right? One at a time. B minor, A minor. There's a B minor there, but don't tell anybody. Okay? So you see what I mean? Like, that's how I did it. Because once I could play the B minor, C minor, C sharp minor, D minor, D sharp minor, E minor, right? You just slide it up. So that's what I did. And then down the road, I figured out I better learn a B. And I played, I learned that, that shape, that A shape. I ended up using two fingers. And that's another shape so learning your bar chords, just do it step by step, making sure quality over quantity, right? Now, if you're older and it hurts after a while to play bar chords, um, there are really good cheats out there called triads. So, for example, instead of playing this B major bar chord like this, right? That's how we normally, if you're really good and you learned that way and you can play it with just the two fingers, fantastic. I find that's a tough chord for me to play with just two fingers, but I can do it. I don't hit it really, 100%. So I use the two, okay? And then I realized, like, wow, this is torture on my hand and my wrist. As you can see, I got my cast on today. I've got my, like, I'm sore today. So look, now we've got a better way to do this. Here's your A major. Some of you play it like this. I happen to play it like this. And for this reason. So what was that? That was A to B. So I don't have to play this anymore. I can just play this. That's a B triad, a B major triad, right? The only difference between this and this is really the bass note here and here, F sharp and, but you're getting that, here's the F sharp right here, okay? You're getting, it's the same notes as you're playing in the bar chord. You're just playing less of them. So now I use this, right, to replace that bar chord. Now the B minor, if you want to replace it, you can play a little triad right here. The first three strings, 1, 2, 3, three fingers, three strings, three frets. Only strum the ones you're fretting. That's a B minor. So here's your B minor. This is the cheater B minor or the triad B minor. Okay? B minor, C minor, C sharp minor, D minor, D sharp, E minor. So here's E minor, G, E minor, E minor, G, A, E minor, G, A, E minor, G, A, right? So that's a good one to know. E minor, B minor, good ones to know. On the other popular minor chord is the A minor, and the easiest one to remember there is just one finger, the first three strings of that fifth fret. I call that the A fret because that's where the A bar chord is played. There's an A triad. Here's an A triad, right? Here's an A power chord with an octave, A5 I think they call that. This finger isn't active, it's just there. And I'm only playing these three strings. So there's an A power chord. Right, so those are movable power chords. So there's other ways to play before you go to bar chords. Personally, and again, unless there's a reason you need to learn the bar chords, or you're at that one of those on that side where you want to be a professional and learn whatever you want to learn, everything there is to know, and you want to dedicate your life to learning guitar, and then by all means you're going to have to learn them anyways at some point. But if you're just looking for a way to play certain chords that you can't because there's no open B minor per se, then triads are I would learn my triads before bar chords, because triads also starts to give you knowledge of your fretboard and starts to make theory make sense. You don't have to know how to read sheet music. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just basic things that you know what a key is and you know how a chord is made, if you know those two things and you understand the frets on the guitar and what happens when you go up 2 frets, you go from a C to a D, right? Or an E to an F sharp, because there's no E sharp, so, right? You need to understand that. If you just know those basic things, how to make a chord, like what's in a G chord? Well, G, B, and D, and know why those three are the notes that make the G chord, then man, moving forward it gets a lot easier. Practice is how you can improve for the fingerstyle. No matter, you have to develop your way of doing things. You want to follow the Travis picking, or you want to do more like I do, or just want to use your own little method of how you want to do it. But you just have to practice. So a good way to practice is to arpeggiate your chords. So what that means is, if you're playing a G chord, right? All the strings are involved in playing a G. So therefore you can pick all of the strings. Make your G shape. Now pick and just practice what it sounds like. You know that your high notes are going to be here, the first 3 strings. You know these are your bass notes, especially these 2 strings. So as you're playing, depends what you're looking for. I might be up here all the time on the bass, and then right? Or it might be a fancy intro like the one to a song that I play. Right? And then right? It might be something like that. But for a good practice, so now I go to the C. Now I got 5 strings in the C chord, so I can pluck that. Now go up to the G. And just listen, use your ear. You'll figure it out. It won't sound good at first, but it won't sound bad. It just won't sound great. You got to figure out. Maybe you want to grow a nail a little bit. Maybe you don't. Maybe your nail's too long. You got to cut her back. You know, it's all these things. What's comfortable for you, right? I use mostly the fleshy part for the thumb and the underside of my finger, fleshy. And then I have the nail, just a little nail. If I want to just dig into it a little bit, or if I want to use the back. And let me tell you, that was difficult at first. That was difficult at first. So don't think that this is something you're going to do tonight and you're going to master it. No, this is just, if you have been playing for a bit and you've developed good strumming habits and you're playing every day, this will take you nothing. This will be a couple hours. You'll enjoy it, and you'll start hearing yourself sound better the more you do it. You're gonna miss your bass. Try to concentrate hitting that bass, the root note, right? So that's where it helps to know your notes, your root notes. So if in a C chord, this is my root note right here, C. The lowest note is the root note. The lowest C is the root note. There's my root. There's another C here. It's a root note, but it's not the bass root note. So we want to hit the bass root and then pick from there. Now that sounds like a doorbell. Anything I play in those 5 strings is going to sound good in any order. It's up to me. Keep it slow. Then you can speed up later. Yeah, I mean, look, whenever you're doing anything on the guitar, I'm guilty of this because this is different for me to talk and try to engage in people that aren't there and be structurally perfect. So sometimes I wander when I'm talking and I don't have good timing. But rest assured, when I'm playing a song or what, like I make, like timing is so important. So yes, you should always think of timing. So if you're strumming chords and you're just using little fills in between the chords, you need to know your timing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Like you need to keep, it's got to flow. So everything that you should always try to be working on a sense of timing, fast or slow. And don't worry if everybody slips in and out. Don't worry about being a perfectionist like I try to be and it drives me nuts. Don't. It'll kill you, right? Just you're gonna slow up. Now I speed up and slow down. That's why I play on my own. If you play on your own, it really is not that important, to be honest. It's only important when other people are depending on you to play. So, you got a bass player that you're following them, they're following you. You got to be in time. You got to be in sync. Little things that you do like this, like when you sit around, that helps. Helps me. I posted a little lick today, right? Was the little lick is that's it. That's it. And then play any chord you want. It'll work with any chord. You can use it as an intro or you can use it as a little diddly do in between chords, right? So you got this little, right? You get this little thing. So it's little things like that, right? When I say just play your guitar. So want to check that video out. It's in the YouTube Shorts, and I just show you slow how to do it, right? And you can also do it with a hammer on, so you don't have to go. You can go, right? I love fingerstyle. So you got me started now. All right, folks. Look, that's exactly right, John. That's exactly right. Hello from Greece. Hi from Canada. Um, so yeah, look, I just want to come on and remind you guys that, and maybe hopefully give some encouragement that it doesn't have to be difficult. The first part of the show, it was all about three chords, and just you know, we played some songs, showed you how easy we can just take three chords and make them sound and be songs. And four is the sweet spot, of course, but three is great. Um, and so, anyways, and if you want to know who I am, I'm just a guy here that taught myself to play guitar not once, not twice, but three times before it finally worked. So I know I spent 3 years trying to get my feet spinning on the ground, and I didn't have to. And I wish I had those 3 years back, believe me, because I wasted time learning things that I never use, will never use. But again, I didn't know any better, like many of you. And you just don't know what to spend your time on. And that's so important. And there's no sense wasting your time on things that are either aggravating you, making you sound bad, physically hurting you, or just you just don't enjoy doing it. Because if you do it and continue to do it, your brain will shut you down and just say, you know what? You're shit, man. Put the guitar down. You're not going to play today. And you won't, right? So, coming up in the fall, you might want to take a look for those of you that want to take it. Thanks, Barb. See you soon. Um, so, yeah, coming up in the fall, I got some things planned that will hopefully keep things. I noticed it's been a little bit drifting here lately. There's been a lot of people coming in that I don't know why they're coming in on this feed because it's not to do with them per se, but it's just disturbers. So we're gonna try to do some things in the fall, to eliminate a lot of that stuff. I know it can be annoying. Um, yeah, it's just repetition, Randy. It's strictly just stick to it. And what I would do is just what I tend to do when I want to learn little riffs and stuff is I play it slow. And I just keep playing it, you know. And then you play it so much that you mess it up because you're playing it too much. And then you just wait, give it some time, strum around, do something else, and then right back to it. And sometimes that's all you need, 2 or 3 days in a row. That's it. And on the fourth day you're humming it, or 1 or 2 days in a row, and on the third day you're humming it, whatever it is. But yeah, you know that it's all about, again, assigning practice time. And if you only have an hour or 20 minutes or 90 minutes or whatever it is you have, you want to make sure, because as you progress, there's more things you have to stay on top of. It's easy to practice when you're a beginner because you only know one thing, one chord, or two chords, and that's it. And you're just trying to get from C to D or G to D or whatever. But the more you learn and bring into your repertoire, well, duh, now I got to work on that every day to keep it sharp and to fine tune it and to polish it. The next thing you know, if you don't apply your time properly, you're either aimlessly playing for hours or you're not properly developing because you're putting aside things you just don't have time to practice that day, and it's not the way to do it. So, um, you know, um, I don't know the intro. I don't know that song too well. All right. So it's something like. Something along. It's up. It's played here, down here. It's some. Oh, it's. Oh, we're getting close. Like I said, I had a few more, some time I could noodle that out, but the actual chords are A minor, to C D D D, A minor to C, or no, then it goes stays on the A minor, so it goes A minor, then back to A minor, but it stays there. F, the minor to the C to the A minor, right? So it goes D minor to A minor. Yippee I C, yippee I O. The Ghost Riders on, right? So then it goes bow, 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 bow. Oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue. But sorry. Yeah, the chords are right. And you know what? I have played that intro before. I'm getting, now it's bothering me. Oh, nice on the piano. Nice, yeah. Yeah, it's a nice. Well, and again, and it's the same as when I opened the show tonight. I played Big Iron by Marty Robbins, and that is uh, the name of Texas Red, C, A minor. Then it goes bum 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 bum, right? Something like that, right? Bum, da, 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 by the name of Texas Red. But the outlaw didn't worry, men that tried before were dead. 20 men had tried to take him, 20 men had made a slip. 21 would be the ranger with the big iron on his hip. That's it there, right? So C, A minor, then F. That's it. So it's the same chords as just backwards. It's the same chords, just played same vibe too, eh? Just sort of, but it just played differently. Anyways, okay. A minor to G. Oh, sorry. Which one are we talking about, John? Was that what you were asking about? Was the chords to that song? A minor to C, and then A minor to C, right? Then it goes to the F, back to the A minor. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm just someone that hopefully can help you get going and get your guitar going and get things happening without getting all overly technical about things. And bonjour, ça va bien? Oh, Big Iron. Yeah, yeah. I did that in its entirety last time. I'll do it again. Um, that was one of my favorite songs as a kid. But it's cool. All right. See you guys later. We'll be back soon. Um, just play your guitar. That's how you get better. Remember that. All right. See you later, guys. Uh, au revoir, monsieur. C'est fini maintenant, mais je vais retourner possible demain. OK? Ou dimanche.